hang out. So hope everybody is having a fantastic time. My name is Katarina from Katarina's Garage. I'm really one of the few people that are ever on this channel, because the only other people that are on the channel, my dad's been on here a couple times. And actually he's the only other one that's ever been on any of my lives. So, you know, and it was not very long that he was on live, but still he was on live, and he's been in the background a couple videos, and then I've had Keith in a couple of videos too, and yeah, which if you haven't already, go check out that junkyard tour video, because it's a long video, but it's just really cool what we find in that junkyard, because again, it's nothing but vintage cars, right? Just absolutely nothing. It is so cool. Huh, that's cool. I just saw a vintage ice cream van. That's really sweet. It's old ooh, that's an old girl too. What's right in front of me here? Check out this old Pete driving by me. I think it's cool. Like, that's a really cool truck there. Like, to be honest, I am a fan of them. Yeah, don't leave me in behind this damn truck here. Thank you. But yeah, this Lincoln tried to box me in. But you know, and now I'm stuck behind a school bus, because why not, right? But yeah, anyways, I hope y'all are having an absolutely fantastic time. You know, I'm just here in my Mustang, and I threw some Marble Mystery Oil in it to see if that makes a difference with some of the stuff, because she's been acting up lately, you know. Like that shake that it just had, that's been really bothering me. I think I'm having a voltage issue as well with my gauges, because my oil pressure was reading high, as was my temperature on this car. I like just coming in because I was live on TikTok coming in. Now I'm live on YouTube going out. But actually, I just want to check. Maybe that. There we go. But yeah, so like I mentioned, you know, of the issues there. Let's see. Okay, the school bus is starting. Okay, cool. But yeah, like I mentioned, you know, oil pressure was high, temperature was high. Not like, oh my god, we're gonna blow up high, but high. Really? You're gonna pass me? Oh, okay. We're good. Okay, why are you shaking like that? But yeah, what I found out though, or at least I think is the issue, I think there's a voltage issue with the car. Even though, like, it charges up. When those two are high, my, it looked like I was getting amazing fuel economy. I was like, oh, hey, look at that, you know? I'm gonna be getting right around 10 liters per 100 kilometers. I mean, that'd be sick in this car, but it's like, I didn't really believe it. And yeah, turns out that the fuel level was reading a little high too. And now that is, it went down after I parked for a bit, and then everything else went down with it. So I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I'm just making sure that I can see your guys' chats, because I've had issues with that in the past. And also, I've got Pisha. I like my Pisha. Ow. But, yeah, so like I mentioned, you know, there is a junkyard tour video, which is, it's getting a lot of views. I'm actually really digging that. It's not too often that I have videos quite explode quite like that, but I'm not surprised that it is, only because of the nature of the content. Because, yeah, I just, like, you know, when I name it what I did, there we go, that, you know, because like 40 plus acres of nothing but classic cars, and then list gas tank for the Civic. So there's the original gas tank underneath of it, and then that gas tank there. Yes, I could use a truck, but I don't have one currently, so... Well, okay, no, technically that's a lie. I have a truck, it's just not running. So, there's that. It sees motor, and it doesn't have brakes, and all this jazz. 100% I would, yeah. I love classics. You know, I don't really drive modern vehicles hardly at all, so... And, because I know my classic cars, I know my carbureted vehicles and stuff like that, so... In fact, there are many classic vehicles that I'd like to have, like, actually at the Olds auction, which that video is probably going to come out today, I think. Because the auction out in Olds actually had some really cool cars this time around. They had a Dodge Raider, which is a Mitsubishi Pajero. It was a 1986, 87, no, 1988. You'll have to elaborate a rebuild video on what? Because there's lots of things that could be rebuilt, you know, engine rebuild, transmission rebuild, or just an entire restoration of a car, you know. They are all a thing. There we go, sorry about that. When I'm going down the highway here with the dips in the road and stuff like that, I'll lose connection. That was quite a big dip back there, so should have connection now. I might drop out a couple more times on the way home, but it is what it is. But, like I was mentioning, I would like to do an engine rebuild video, 100%. But for me, it comes down to, well, a candidate for it, which don't get me wrong, this engine would be a great candidate for it, but and cost, because, or even like the Rocket engine would be perfect too, because, you know, it's dry seats, it has blown head gaskets, you know, that'd make a great rebuild video, but I just don't have the money to do it. Otherwise, I absolutely would. Because even like this engine, like the 302 that's in this car, it could make do with a rebuild. It's a little tired, but you know. But then if I rebuilt it, well, it wouldn't just be rebuild. It'd be punch it out, put new pistons in it, maybe put a stroker crank in it, you know, and then swap out the heads for brand new heads, brand new cam, put new headers on it, roller rockers, you know, do the whole works, right? And I mean, it would cost me more money than I have currently. Like, I'm broke at the moment. You know, it's, I'm really actually kind of hurting for cash, but, yeah, again, sorry for connection issues. If somebody gave me the money and said, hey, you need to do an engine rebuild video with this, I would do that in a heartbeat. Like, if somebody ever wanted to sponsor a video, I'd be happy to. Because hell, even a fun one that would be to kind of rebuild, actually, because I've never really dealt with Japanese very much, is actually the old Civic. Like, because that 78 Civic, bear in mind, it's been sitting since May of 95. Which, you know, it's been sitting for longer than I've been alive, put it that way. By a year and a month. So, and, yeah, it's one of those deals where I don't know exactly the health of that thing. And once we get this gas tank in and then do the brakes on the car, then we can really see where that engine and transmission and everything are at. Seems like the clutch is good, because the clutch does grab. You can just feel it. So, give this thing an oil change, and then because I'm kind of worried that it's wiped, like that there's potentially bearings getting wiped out with it shaking the way it is. Or I mean, maybe that's motor mounts too, even though the motor mount should be new. Never know for a video too, because there is a way to do it where it costs you basically nothing. Like, you know, it costs you maybe $10 total to do it, because you need a bolt and you need a hockey puck. Well, a few hockey pucks. And it works really well, actually, because hockey pucks are vulcanized rubber, and that's really what you want. Well, thank you very much. Because, like, sorry, I keep getting cut off by the damn connection. But yeah, like, there should be, I have 2 videos that are ready to go. They're already uploaded. I just need to make them public. Which I'm thinking today I might make the auction video public, which the auction videos never do well, but this one with all the classic cars in it might make a difference. But we shall see. Yeah, we shall definitely see. But yeah, like, and that's one thing though too, is like, I'd love to have more cars. I just can't afford it. And I don't really have the space proper either. Like, I have 4 cars right now. 5 if you include the Civic, but the Civic's more part ownership. You know, it's my dad. It's kind of mine too, you know. And I'm doing the real process on it, so with any luck, if my dad ever decides to get rid of it, then I just inherited it, which would be cool because, you know, my brother got a free car. I never did. Although I will say there was the opportunity for me to get 2 free cars, to be fair. I just didn't want those. Well, I wanted the one car, the truck, but I couldn't really afford to buy the truck off my dad, and then I probably could have got the Saturn for free, but I wouldn't be where I am now if I was driving a Saturn SC2. So, even though I like Saturn SC2s, don't get me wrong, they're a nice little car, but, and yeah, like, I wouldn't want to get rid of that Civic. You know, it'll just be so much fun to drive around. It won't be fast. Like, I'm a sneaking suspicion it's going to be slower than Stitch currently is, which Stitch is the slowest car in my fleet for any of the cars that run, I should say. Because otherwise I would come down to the Vrook, because the Vrook has a seized engine, so it doesn't even run. Paul, how's it hanging? I definitely appreciate you coming out to the live. And yeah, like, I've only driven 1 Civic in my life, but that was an 8th gen Civic. It's not the same thing, you know. Like, it was a fun car and everything, but I didn't drive it very long because my friend at the time, she said that millennials can't drive stick, so I proved her wrong. But I mean, because like, we were going down the road and she kept saying that, and I'm like, pull over the car, I'll drive. Once I got used to the clutch, because it's a very light clutch in that car, and it does need a little bit of throttle input, I was golden. And like, I wanted to bang shift it on her so bad, like rev it to its mat, like to the red line, and then bang shift it. But I was like, you know what, I'll be, because she told me don't rev it over 2,500 RPM and stuff like that, it's like, okay, I didn't do that. But it's like, because yeah, at that point, I had driven my dad's truck quite a bit, because he had a 99 Ram 1500 with a 318 5-speed. That MP 3500 tranny, oh, such a joy. I love those trannies so much. Oh, to be honest, I'm not really concerned with people's opinions on my cars or what I do. Because I enjoy what I do. I love my cars, and that's all that matters. You know what? The fact that I actually have fans is a nice bonus. Because I know I have fans, obviously. I mean, I have over 2,200 subscribers and counting. So, I have over 2,000 followers on TikTok. Now, Instagram, I think I only have like 600 followers on Instagram, if that. But, you know, it's just one of those deals. Instagram, I can't seem to grow that one very well, even if I post it every day. Because I did for a while, but... But in the end, I mean, because Instagram doesn't really get anything from me. It's just kind of gratification when stuff gets likes and stuff like that. But YouTube, obviously, this gets me income. And then TikTok is just kind of a fun thing to promote YouTube with. So... I appreciate that, Christian. Thank you very much. You know, I wish I made like a livable wage off of this, but I don't. You know, I would need every single video to explode. Like, I need for me to actually do and live off of YouTube properly and not have to do anything else on the side. I would have to have every video get 10,000 views and make me probably 20-30 bucks a video, which that's not common for me to get 20-30 bucks a video. I usually get maybe 5 to 7, right? So, and even that, depending on the video. The videos like that explode do actually decent for me, but that doesn't happen too often, you know? Like, the junkyard video is doing incredibly well, which just because of the nature of the video, I'm not shocked that it's doing that well. But then I have, you know, other stuff. Well, yeah, I mean, it takes me just working my ass off at it, which, that's what I do. I try and put out content as much as possible. It just gets rough. And then with my health stuff, too, that's been an issue. But I'm doing what I can with what I got, so, you know, and with some of my stuff too, I just have to, I rely on some of my connections that I've made too, because I network really well. Yeah, as stupid as this is, I might actually lose you at the bottom of this hill again too. We shall see, because I'm just rolling into Sundry now. This is the hill. Oh yay, they changed that billboard, thank God. It's about time. It's now a Freezer Brothers billboard, not what it was before. So happy about that. My favorite car is a 1970 Dodge Coronet Super B. Although to be honest, a 70 Coronet in any combination I would take. You know, whether it's a coupe, a convertible, Super B, non-Super B, RT, it could be a Sled 6 even, it could be a wagon, you know, it could be a sedan. I don't care. I prefer the two doors the most, and especially the convertibles, which it's kind of interesting because the Dodge Coronet Super B never actually came in a convertible, even though it was the sister car to the Plymouth Roadrunner. And the Roadrunner came in a convertible. They make quite a few of them, actually. But the Coronet, the only way you can get a convertible is through having it as an RT, not a Super B. Which is weird, to be honest. You would have thought that they would have had those variants, too. Just break here. Because, yeah, like, I have other, like, cars that I really, really want. Don't get me wrong, but that is my absolute favorite car by far, is 1970 Dodge Coronet. Although I could interchange that with a 68 or a 69 Coronet as well, for that matter. But 70 is just minty for me. I love it. Honestly, that's fair. I mean, I like convertibles. Ever since getting this car, convertibles are just so much fun. you know, they might not have as good of looks unless you drop the top and put the parade boot on it, but still, I mean, I love this car and how it is. And oh, I saw that van out in Knowles. Well, see, the one thing is, convertibles, especially in the summertime, should have AC. This car actually has AC, it's just not all hooked up yet. I think I need a condenser, and then I need the lines, and then, or no, not a condenser, I need the dryer, that's what it is. Because I have the condenser, and I have the compressor, you know, I just need the dryer and then the lines, and then I'll be good. So there we are, just pulling right into my house, just like that. You know, I'm just gonna sit in here for a bit, and eat more of my pizza and talk to y'all, because you know what, it's nice, and I don't feel like going back outside. Hey Stacy, how's it going? Definitely appreciate you coming out to the live stream. I just finished my drive, but I'm not signing off just yet. But I've got, actually I'm trying to think, do I have any refills of coolant right now? I might not, but like, I know this thing is not overheating or anything like that right now, so it's fine. I'm just parked here because this is my house, this is where I live, so you know, I'm just gonna sit in the car, and actually I'm just gonna shut it off here, and if I need more heat I'll turn it back on for, you know, 5 minutes or so, which I probably will, because it's not the nicest day out here, and it's been kind of rainy and stuff. But hey, with it raining, or it rained anyways, the carpet that's on my deck should be a little clean from that, or at least it would have pulled some of the dirt out of it, so that'll should clean up good. Because yeah, once it's dry I'll vacuum it out too, and then see about cleaning that up, because I do want to, I might put that in the other car, you know, although it would be interesting actually potentially putting it in this car. It's just so much more work to put it in this car than the other car, but because I have more black accents in this car, like, you know, my shifter is black, I've got the black, it's not a full black center console, but I do have the black, which I have a black center console too I could put in the car. Well, I promise you there's gonna be more of those, because the auction videos don't tend to do as well on my channel, but the junkyard videos do really well. So I'm still gonna continue to do both. I'm gonna focus more on the junkyard videos though, because again, they just do way better on YouTube. But because sometimes as well for the auction videos, I do those for me. Because I'll look at the vehicles and see, okay, what's up. And actually I might do a video, I don't know, because like the auction is actually ending today. My buddy actually won a Dakota in an auction, so we shall see. He was bidding on a motorcycle too that I would have really loved, but he bowed out of the motorcycle, which is still sad because it was still really cheap. But he was just worried about there being other issues, but it's like, I didn't really see anything for alarm when I checked out the bike. Now, yes, I couldn't ride it, you know, around, just because of how they have everything set up there. It's really hard to try and even do that, and it was really tight of where that bike was in particular. So, but it was a nice bike, and I'm very disappointed. Somebody else in Sundry won the bid, so who knows? Maybe I'll see it around and I'll talk to them about it. Because yeah, it's a very cool bike, because it was a 1986 Kawasaki KPZ, I think, 550. Because the one thing is, I can't have a big bike, especially like I've never ridden a motorcycle yet, so I've been on the back of a few, but never actually rode a motorcycle properly, which I really want to. And the laws here in Alberta, they state that as long as there's somebody that has their motorcycle license in behind you, you're legal to actually ride it. So that's cool. And actually, it's something that the Alberta government unveiled just earlier this week is they're getting rid of the GDL program, which is amazing because all it was a cash grab. So, and the GDL program is called the Graduated Driver's License Program. And basically, when you got your driver's license, you had hey, trust me, if I could afford to do a trip like that, I'd do it in a heartbeat. It's just it's so hard for me to even plan some of that stuff too, just because there's no money. Now, if somebody was paying for me, different story, because that, and also like, because down south. Now, how far down south are you though? Because are you like, because I was gonna say you're in the States, aren't you? If I remember correctly. See, I could potentially like, but something else I want to do as an auction video too is kind of what to look out for. And I'll grab the keys for a vehicle that I might be interested in myself and just bidding on, and kind of go through sort of the steps of what I look for, testing all, for example, do all the electrics work? Does it, not that you can test too much with the auction vehicles, but like, okay, you're down in Tabor. Okay. Yeah, I know where Tabor is. I grew up in Lethbridge, so I've been to Tabor a few times. Um, yeah, okay. I'll have to see about that. Um, it's getting too late in the season to try and do anything like that now, but I mean, even still, I don't have the money right now to afford a trip like that, because I'd probably want to, especially if there's like 1,000 cars, I'd want to do multiple videos out there. And yeah, because like now there's a few yards that I need to check out, because there's that one, and then there's one near, I think it's Redcliffe as well, that the guy has a bunch of cars out there too. So yeah, and then there's other ones like I need to head out to BC too, because oddly enough, Apocalypse Off-Road here on YouTube, me and him had a bet, which we haven't chatted in quite a long time, but me and him had a bet to where who was going to get monetized first on YouTube, and he won that race because little bastard cheated. He went to Rust Brothers Restoration and said, yeah, I'm filming all the cars out of Rust Brothers, and that video has the most views on his channel. It's like, you bugger. Because he needed the subscribers, I needed the watch time. So that video got him a ton of subscribers in very short order. But yeah, and actually, do you like my dirty gas tank? Because yeah, actually, that's the gas tank for my '78 Civic, Papa Smurf. So, well, technically not mine, but mine in a way. I don't know, it's kind of a weird ownership thing because, again, it's technically my dad's, but it's more, I'm kind of a part owner of it too. It's just how it goes. But I'm doing all the work to it, so I should be. Anyways, because he hasn't really done anything to that car. The only thing he's done is when I got the we were waiting, oh yeah, that's right. We were waiting for the key to be made. Once the key was made, my dad got up out of bed and wanted to hear if the car ran or not, and it did, just not on its own fuel system. So this is a non-leaky tank that's not plugged up. It's actually got some fresh gas in it too, which is nice. So that'll go into the Civic, maybe even as early as next week. Hey, no worries, Christian. I definitely appreciate you coming out. And trust me, I know that's you, Shane. There's no denying that that Lincoln. But how's it going? Definitely appreciate y'all coming up to the live. Because I don't know how long I'm gonna be on here for, but we'll see. I don't know if this will be an all-day thing. I don't think I'll go that long, but you never know. Yeah. It's a Lincoln Mark 7 that is full on Mad Max. The Lincoln Mark 7 is my favorite Fox body, honestly. I love those cars so much. And then Mad Max, just that style is like really, really cool. I've always loved that. So yeah, out of your entire fleet, that is my favorite car by far. And then the kind of wild stuff that you did to it too. Ah, there we go. Hey, the sun's finally coming out. What a concept. Maybe it'll dry off my carpet. Because I left my carpet out of the deck. Out of the parts car there. That's pretty funny, I'm not going to lie. But we've all made silly mistakes that way. But mind you, that's probably not a bad idea that you did anyways. Because who knows, it may have been a problem in the future. Now, and actually, because Stitch has 2 brand new tires up front. Because I left Stitch right now is not here. It's at my buddy's shop, which I'm going to look into once my dad's back home. I'm going to look into actually going back up to Edmonton, because not only to pick up my car, but install this gas tank into the Civic. See about getting that running and driving properly, because literally it'll take us all of about 10 minutes to stab this tank back in. Because especially with the lift, it makes it so much easier. Right? Just so much easier. But this tank actually, because it's out of a wagon, not a regular hatchback, because you can see I've got double-deckerness happening here. So you see the old tank on the bottom, the new tank up top. It came out of, actually, I saw it be pulled last night. It came out of a first-gen wagon. So, which means it's a little bigger, but all the bolt holes are in the same spot and everything, so that's not an issue. It's just slightly taller, but it shouldn't interfere with anything, to be honest. So, yeah. Which we'll see, because it does look just a tad bit bigger. I will have to grab a couple of things off of my old tank to put on here. Like, I may need to grab the vent tube, for example, and the filler neck off of it. But other than that, you know, and then just run a few new hoses, and Bob's your uncle. Ah, see, there you go, yeah. Because it's always nice when you can get that stuff, you know, changing out that stuff. Because, I mean, like, I've changed out, it didn't need to be done, but I changed out the water pump, actually on the old motor. Which, actually, no. Did the water pump puke out on me on that one? No, I don't think so. But I did change out the water pump, and then that motor, I got rid of it, and so we pulled the water pump back off of it, because, like, it's a new water pump. It's just sitting on my shelf in there. Although it's funny, the gasket's in the car. That's out there. And also, actually, something I do want to talk about. It's really cool, because if y'all have seen it, because I did a barn find video, and I picked up a parts car for this. Now, that parts car is another convertible. Oh, I don't know if I can grab that. Yeah, that's fair, because I try and go for the simple stuff on mine, but because I'm more, a lot of the stuff that I deal with is a lot simpler than what you deal with, so there's that. But, anyways, what I'm trying to grab here is this. So this is a convertible top motor for one of these Fox bodies, and it still works and everything, so Because there's a girl that wants the convertible top off that, and you can smell all of that. There's actually, it's interesting. This uses transmission fluid, which I would have thought it would have used hydraulic fluid. Ah, and it spilled on me. Damn it. Yeah, because this thing is a little leaky. I should put it in the house. Ah! Okay, stop leaking on me. Here, put you on the floor here. There we go. But yeah, so I have that just in case if I ever need one. Because I'm sure that they're probably not too expensive, but expensive enough. And if I can save money, I may as well just do that. What? I didn't even... I wasn't trying to be punny, to be honest. I really was not. Like, I'm dead serious. I was not trying to make any puns whatsoever. Or unless if you were hearing puns that you could have made, potentially. Ah. Oh. Well, but yeah, so... the parts car is actually coming out to be quite a nice thing for me. Because as well, something, I do want to pull the windshield out of that car, which is not very hard to do. I've pulled glass before. Because there's one little crack. It's can be filled very easily. And I do want to actually take it to somebody that, you know, a glass shop or whatever that can fill in cracks. And just have that as a spare windshield in case I need one for any of my cars. Because, like, this is a replacement windshield in this car. Stitch still has the original windshield from 81. And the convertible, that's a replacement windshield as well. It's not original. But, you know, that would be nice, to be honest. Just to have a spare windshield lying around. I wouldn't mind that. You know, and then... the other stuff too, because actually I have a lot of... so the trim on the outside of the car, you know, like the windshield trim and everything, that's all gray on this one. It's just faded, and I don't think I can bring it back. A bullet hole in it. That's too funny. That's funny. But what I was saying though is yeah, so I actually have for the outside window trim, and actually even inside too, I have black trim for it. So may or may not go on this car. Like, I know that the outside trim I definitely want to put on the car, I think. The inside trim though, I'm debating on that. Because don't get me wrong, it would look really good in here. I've also got black sun visors too that I was tempted to put in this car. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm just kind of brainstorming stuff. And I don't know what I want to do. And as well, like something that I thought it would kind of break it up nicely in here, because, okay, I have this, now don't get me wrong, it actually looks really good, the red on black. The center console is, but I have a black center console too that I could put in here and then just retain my stock red pad here. Yeah, it's just, I don't know what I'm going to do yet. Because I got all of these parts that if somebody ends up buying that, then it's cool too, but it's hard to go Mustang. That's just too funny. But yeah, like currently, because none of my cars need windshields, and if Stitch needed the windshield replaced, I'd want to find a factory replacement. But if this needed to be replaced, it's already been replaced with the PGW windshield, so I don't really care. Right? But that one still has a car light in it, so I'd want to put another car light windshield in that car. And I would talk to whoever I sent it to change out the windshield in the future. You know, and people are commenting on a photo I share. Oh, I know what that is. Because actually something Very, very depressing. I went out to Olds, just to Walmart. I was picking up some cat food, and I grabbed myself some pizza too while I was there. And the thing is, I'm in the checkout line, and I look over and I see Christmas chocolate like advent calendar. It's September. Like it's September. So it's stupid. And see, and Stacy just sent me a message on Facebook actually, telling me he was gonna send a satellite view of that property he was talking about. And bumper full. Now, of all things, you smacked a donkey? Like, of all things. Not a cow, not a deer, not a moose. A donkey. Only you would hit a donkey. Oh, wow. That is a big, holy crap, that's a huge property. Huge property. Which, I mean, yeah, 1,000 cars. It's got to be. Ah, fair enough. It's still just kind of weird to hear. You know, just like, yeah, a donkey, not anything else, a donkey. Huh? So, yeah. And it's starting to rain again. No, stop raining. But it's funny because in this car I can hear it rain because I can hear it hit the canvas top. Which, yeah, I found out how these things actually pull out of where they are. Because there's a woman interested actually in Ontario that wants the convertible frame off of the other car, the parts car. Which I'm totally open to doing that, and like I've already pulled it out. Well, I need basically somebody else there to actually properly pull it all the way out. Because you can't do it with one person. You have to have two people, right? But once you did that, then you'd be like golden. Because it's actually not that hard to do. It's just you have to pull out some interior pieces and whatnot to make it easier on yourself. Now because the one side interior piece, it like on the rear interior piece, like I don't know if you can, yeah, so this right here, this whole thing comes right off. And it's just on the driver's side, it did not want to come off, so I had to use just a wrench instead to get around the little plate that was there, which I did make it work or whatever else. It was just annoying. But yeah, other than that, you know, it's good. And obviously I pulled the carpet out of the car. Like, I thought about maybe putting it in here as well. It's just more of a pain in the ass because I've got the center console to contend with too, but maybe. We'll see. Because, like, the one thing is, so, because I already have, you can see the, well, the top here, even though it's white on the outside, is black in here. I have a bunch of black accents, like a black steering wheel. I have, here, I'll just do this. Black steering wheel, black gauge surround. You know, all this is black in here, right? Even the surround for the stereo is black. I have, you know, the trim around that is black, whatever else. So what I was thinking, because that carpet that I have on the deck, this red carpet is actually in decent shape, don't get me wrong, but it's a little faded and whatnot. So change out this for the black here. And then also do the dash pad black as well. That way it would just kind of have, not that it doesn't have synergy right now, but I think it'd have a little more. And then actually something else too, because I have that black center console, I do have, if I just do this, flip the camera around. Whoops, no, I don't need to flip it around. What am I doing? So the center console here as well, because this piece, I actually do have a black piece like this. So might swap that out too. Just, and again, just make everything just look just a little better, right? It's little details like that that really kind of transform a car. And then, yeah, and these seats are quite faded and whatnot, and I don't know what I'm going to do with these yet. If I swap them at some point, we'll see. It's just, they're still quite comfortable and whatever else, and they're nice. But something that you may not have seen, Stitch actually has a new set of seats in her, and there is a video that I want to put out. I just haven't finished it yet on the seats, because I did do a bunch of clips of me kind of taking out and installing the seats and how it looks. It looks so much better. So much better. And yeah, and these are actually GT seats, so they've got the power lumbar and adjustable bolsters on it, which is quite nice. So yeah. So the interior looks so much better in that, because I had those really tore seats and they were awful. But you know, it always bothered me putting those seats in the car, but they were better than what I had originally, so that's why I put them in. Oh. And don't worry. So yeah, like, because it's manual everything besides power lumbar in those other seats, which I need to wire in the power lumbar properly. I need to see actually on a regular GT of where that would actually go into. So, but yeah, those seats look absolutely fantastic. Like, it's too bad that I couldn't share like a picture here on YouTube about that, you know, and showing the pictures and whatnot of that, because the interior, again, it just looks so much better. And now here's the thing with that one, because if I put the black carpet in this car, I wouldn't actually change out the center console. I would leave this red. I would just change out this one piece to black on it. Oh, there you go. Well, see, actually, this is an LX, but it has manual, just about everything besides windows. I have, like, this car didn't have much for options, oddly enough. It had cruise control, it had AC, and power windows. That's it. Well, that and, of course, power steering, power brakes. But there was nothing else, right? Although something rare on this one is power quarter windows, because a lot of them have manual windows there. I like this car, because also like that parts car as well that I have has minty quarters that I'm gonna chop out. Just gonna take my angle grinder, just go to town and just chop away, because I don't really care if I hit the wiring harness or anything like that, because it's not like, I've driven the car actually. I got it running and driving, but after because it got written off August 26th, I believe, 96, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah. Not really. Like, the only thing that is, with that, oh, I never noticed that before. Okay. There's a nice hole going through. Never noticed that. Yeah, this side it's not there. But that side it is. So, like, when you care. So now I have power. If I roll down, like, it gets a little stuck on it, just on the gasket here, but if I just push that, basically, the convertible just works to kind of seal the top of it, but that's it, right? So, I mean, if I roll this window down, there we go. So it's, as you can see, it's not really. It's part of the actual body structure here where that window is. But you can actually get a lot of the convertibles. They had manual windows out back with the power windows up front. And it does not like, this window does not like the top being up doing this. So I have to kind of, come on. Ow. That hurt. You know when you smack your knee on your car? That hurts. Just hit that one little spot of your knee where it just, most pain. Most pain. Son of a beach. Oh. That really freaking hurt. But yeah, like the only thing that is part of the top is the back glass. Like these quarter windows are not, but the back glass is. Well, see, yeah, on this one, like, if I have the top not in place, like if I just have it slightly loose, like actually I can show that. I'm not too worried if a little bit of water gets in here. So when I put it down, like I don't have to go very far, right? Because you saw how much it struggled before, but if I just go right there, that goes down and back up without any issues. Although this window sits a little lower for some reason, I don't know why, but there we go. But yeah, so that's one of the things with this car. And if the seals were replaced around this, it probably wouldn't be a big deal. It wouldn't have any issues, which I basically need new seals all the way around. When it comes to like windshield seal, I need that done. Like doors, I probably need, yeah, this door seal is kind of cracked too, so I need to replace that door seal too on the bottom there. I definitely need to do the other side too. And then the actual seals that are on the top itself, on the frame, I need to change those as well. So it's not very hard to do, because oddly enough, on convertibles, the seal doesn't go all the way down into the door. It's quite nice. On my notchback, a little different. No, it's not that. Because it's the gasket getting caught. Because, like, here, I'll show you. Here. Because if you can see that, let's just unplug it here. Okay, you see that? How it's going? Like, if I put that back up, you can see the gasket. The gaskets are just hitting each other. And it's also because of the top, too. Because it's getting bound up on the back of the top as well. So that's the problem, right? It's the seals themselves. It has nothing to do with the relays. Because if it was a relay issue, it would have issues going down without, if the top was down or if it was up, it would have issues, right? If it was a relay issue. So yeah, it's just the seals. Replace the seals and everything will be right as rain, because I don't have that issue actually if I turn the camera this way. You can't really see that side here. I'll do this. Flip the key. Now this one, it struggles too, but it'll eventually go down once it catches. And then goes up no problem. But, you know, it just takes a second to go down, but it's just, again, but still, the gasket is causing a little bit of issues on that side. Not a lot. You can hear it, but so yeah, just again, all the seals need to be replaced on this thing. You know, if I replace the seals, if I patched all the holes in the top, this thing would actually this thing would, oddly enough, be a lot better when it's cold. Because the problem is with this car, and I don't want to drive this car in the winter anyways, but driving it in the winter sucks because all the seals are done inside this car. So basically, like when you have a bunch of air that comes into the car like that, you just fog up really bad in the car, right? So that's why, like, I didn't really drive this thing that often when it was very, very cold. Because as well, it was just very cold in this car because of that. Now, all those seals being replaced, whatever else, you could drive this thing in the wintertime and it's no big deal. But I did notice, actually, because the one seal actually on that one, there's a piece actually missing at the bottom of the seal on that quarter window. So there's a decent sized hole there. So that's something that I have to address too. But I will say, because you being in La California, depending on where you are in Cali, you probably don't have to worry about it getting too cold there. Depending where you are, of course. Because I know, like, Northern California gets cold, but to be fair, there's mountains in Northern California, so there's that. Hmm. But yeah, so that's mostly issues wrong with this car, to be honest. Other than the little bit of issues that it's been having, because lately, and I don't know what it is. I need to look deeper into it because, like, if I'm on the highway and sometimes the car will just shake, like, and it's related to the engine clearly because if I let off the gas, it kind of stops shaking. So I don't know what's up with that, and it's not like it's motor mount or anything, because the only reason why I don't think it's a motor mount is because otherwise it would be constant and just get worse and worse as you get faster, right? With more vibrations and stuff like that. So, because RPM doesn't change that. Other than, although if you let off the gas, it will, the shaking is a lot less. And it's not all the time. It's just, it's infrequent. So I'm not sure what's causing that. But there's still so much stuff to do because, like, again, like, the quarters are pretty much gone on this one. But I do have those minty quarters on the parts car, which in the next few days, I'm going to go out there with my grinder and just go to town cutting that all away. So, should be good. And then in the wintertime, probably, we'll go up to my buddy Keith's place with this, and we'll cut these quarters out and we'll put the new quarters in. Oh, okay. Yeah, because that's the one thing, like, because I know kind of what you're talking about there a little bit, but I'm not really good with wiring. I will fully admit that. It's one of my weak points. Like, wiring and coolant systems are my weakest points. But because like this thing right now, that ignition wire that lit up a few weeks ago. Oh, my buddy Keith was in town and he just quickly fixed it for me. Like it wasn't that hard. I just don't have a crimper to just if I had a crimper it'd be much better off, but I don't. And so like um one of one of these actually is under the hood, but it's a bigger version of this, so I have another one of these in case I need it. And then yeah, and I'll just need to get a crimp style on for that side too, for that end, and go from there. Because this still needs to be crimped a little more, but that's one of those deals. And because yeah, this is just a fusible link, obviously. And I have one of these under the hood. And yeah, it works. So okay, fair enough. That makes sense actually. Because yeah, there's always still voltage, and that's why, like, for example, because when you're working on like newer cars as well, because there's still stored energy in everything once a car is shut off, and it takes a while for that energy to actually dissipate. So that's why anything with airbags, I actually recommend, before working on it, is disconnect the battery and wait about 30 minutes for all that energy to dissipate. And then yeah, and I have my fuses, and I have a homemade fuse in here too, which is just literally, I would never ever use this unless if I was desperate and needed to get home. Because I think I know, or I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about. If I can even open this damn thing. If it'll open. Okay, go that way. Push out. Because, yeah. Again, my buddy made this. I could have did this too. I've done this before. Not on this car. I've done it on some stuff out of Greg's. Just to get electrics working and see if it would work because I didn't have fuses. Because, yeah. Homemade fuse. Which is not a fuse. I would not recommend actually doing this unless you're in desperation until you can get actual until you can get an actual fuse. But if I need it, it's here. But I also do have an extra 30 amp fuse and a 15 amp fuse in here. So, but some nice copper wire works really well to conduct electricity. So, and it works for a temporary fuse. Just don't run it too long because you can cause a fire doing that. But, which you know all too well, obviously. But yeah, because like I did that for there was a Mazda B2600i that I sold. And now the one thing is with that thing, the fuse block up front, it was missing the terminals to actually put fuses in properly. So I just used tin foil and made it work because that was actually the fuel pump relay. And I got it to work and it did run. Got it to run for just a few minutes and there you go. Oh, interesting. Yeah, that'd be handy. Faux show. Now that song is always stuck in my head. Why can't I think of the name of it now? Shit. Oh, Why can't I think of the name of that song? I know every lyric to the song. Just eluding me right now. Okay, why do I still have this in my glove box? I should just trash this. And because this one, okay, yeah, I need to keep that. Well, technically I don't, but I am keeping it anyways. So there we go. Because I have a few papers in my glove box, like including my dino sheet, which is a very, very sad dino sheet. I'm not gonna lie. Because really, was it worth the $400? I had ran better, but because yeah, because I see this. These are sad numbers on this. Because it made peak horsepower at like 2,400 RPM, I think it was. 2324 for torque, actually. Interesting. That is very interesting. Like, I mean, well, technically speaking, with an inline six, you're always going to have two cylinders firing at once. No matter what. Just because of how it's designed, right? Oh, wait, no, I'm thinking... My mind blanked there. I'm thinking of a flat plane crank. I'm not... Yeah, just... Ignore me. Sometimes I get my stuff a little... skewed that way. Because I always thought, like, even though an inline six is... It's not a full flat plane crank, but they kind of are one. They're like half and half of a regular crank and a flat plane that way. But it'd be really cool to actually put a proper flat plane crank in an inline six. It might screw up the balance of the motor, though, if you did that. But it would be kind of cool. And see, there you go. See, you know more about the stuff than I do, obviously. Because I know like a little bit, but not a ton. Yeah, see, now it's like it's interesting because when I got this dyno done, because like it hit peak, well, peak torque it did pretty quick actually. It hit its peak torque like because we were starting at 2,000 RPM, and we got peak torque at 2324. There we go. Well, some V8s aren't 90 degree, but or at least how they're banking. Or no, wait, my brain is just mush right now. Just ignore me. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, you're talking about the degree of the crank, not the degree of the motor. Like, yeah, just sometimes my stuff kind of just combines in my head. And then now what's funny is I'm having like brain fog at the moment, which is causing issues with like even trying to think properly. Just ugh. I don't like it. I don't like it. Although I will be curious. Yeah, see, and I know you are. Because even you were wanting to kind of design a because you wanted to design a whatchamacallit, a direct port injection for the old inline six, which that'd be interesting to say the least. And like, I know it actually, once you had the computers, everything, it actually wouldn't be that hard. You would just have to drill the holes and then, thread them in, and you'd be golden. But yeah. And then if you did it like off of coil packs, that'd be interesting too. Like, it'd be very, very neat to set that up on a 200 inline six or a 250 or any of those. And I'm curious what obviously there's a lot of advantages to direct port injection, but I'd be curious to see dyno before and dyno after, how much of a difference that's going to make. And as long as it's similar conditions like humidity and stuff like that too, because it all plays a factor into this, right? Because even like the day I got the dyno done on this, for example, like the humidity is 42%. So that would have played a little bit into how it was. And that's the one nice thing. When you pay for a proper dyno, you get all of the statistics, which is nice, because there are some dyno shops that won't give you that. They will just give you, like, they will just delete basically all of this down here, and they'll just show your power curves and stuff like that, and then just say what your peak power was and at what RPM your peak powers were. But like this, for example, because he asked me a few questions before we got started. Because he asked me like what cam was in it and what rear gear is in it and stuff like that. See, I'd be curious. Now, obviously, you'd have to do fully done internals, but would the block actually take that itself? Or would you have to strengthen the block to be able to take that kind of power? Because I know 300, don't get me wrong, you can push them to a decent amount, but 1,400 foot-pounds of torque? That sounds sketch. Fun, but scary. Now, it is interesting, because you said that I've never had this thing on the scales, but he said test weight was 3,000 pounds, but I'm like, we didn't actually weigh it when it came in, so yeah. Yeah, I couldn't see that holding up very well. You might get a few passes out of it, then it just blows up. Would be a sweet, cool few passes, though, but, don't get me wrong, they're stout, but I don't think they're quite that stout. But it would be fun. Like, and there's so much stuff, because actually there's a guy down in, I think he's in Washington, that has a very, very rare head, and he's not asking a lot of money for this head and then the engine that's actually built off of, because it's a 200, with that's a later 200, which is good, but the head, he has the Aussie head for it, which is just amazing. See, that doesn't shock me one bit, to be honest. Those things are just beefy as all hell. But yeah, like this guy, so he was selling a beefed up 200 inline six with an Aussie head for $2,500, and it was our best offer down, and I think it was in Washington. It was like, oh my god, like I would, if I had the money and if I had my passport, I would take the trip down there immediately to go pick that up, because that's worth it, 100% worth it. It would completely, because that's what I want to do with mine. It's got like 30 over pistons. It's got yes, Aussie heads are crossport, and also they have a removable intake too. And the flow rates between that had, which has also been ported, polished, the intake has been ported out. You know, like basically that engine, when it's all put into a car and whatever else, it's probably gonna make like 280 to the wheels, like, which is very impressive out of a little inline six. You know, not the big six, because 280 horsepower out of a 306 is not that impressive. But 300 horsepower out of a baby six, now you're talking, right? And then put my T5 behind that and just watch that thing sing. Plus, you know, it's got a cam in it and whatever else. Like, the actual ad for that, I'd have to find it again, but yeah, it just, as soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh, it's on Craigslist. And the guy traded a 302 for it. Yeah, that's the one thing. The inline sixes, or at least the baby sixes, are internally balanced. Which, that's the one thing that, because yeah, with the stuff that I found, because I have the flywheel for the car now, right? It's got a couple of chipped teeth, but that's fine. I don't really care. It's not really going to affect anything with that, to be honest. They're not chipped like that bad. I'm sure if when we take out the tranny on Stitch, we'll probably see that that one's chipped a little bit too, because let's be honest, we've all done it. We've all like tried to start the car and realized it didn't really start, so then we just stop, and then the engine hasn't stopped rotating yet, and then we hear that, right? And that's the teeth of, obviously, the starter hitting your ring gear. So that's never a good sign. Never a good thing. Actually, I want to see something here. Because where am I at when it comes to the fuel? Because this tank again actually not be horrible on fuel. Not great still, but not horrible. Okay. Yeah, that might only be like just over 400 kilometers to this tank, which is not good. But true. That definitely helps. Or just like with the stick, you know, if your battery dies, it's not the end of the world. You can always just freaking push it, pop the clutch, and go, right? You know, like, I can't wait for Stitch to have the T5 in our frick. It'll be amazing. Although it's funny how many people told me I should put the T5 in this car, which it would be way easier to put in this car, don't get me wrong, but I kind of still want this as a cruiser, right? Just a nice cruiser. I want to throw an AOD in this car, though. Like, a mechanical AOD would be great, but I can imagine. But yeah, like, cause I've never actually like popped the clutch to start a car before, but I know how it's done. And thank you. You know what, that video, that was an all-day affair to get that not only filmed, because obviously you can tell that I did a couple of clips, but to be honest, it wasn't really that much. And like, there was stuff that I was thinking about. Oh, what? That cart went for $700. Oh my god. Wow. Yeah, sorry. So there's an auction going on at Olds, and like my buddy's bought a couple of things. Well, he's bought one for sure. He bought a truck, and then no, that's not Power Rangers. How dare you disrespect Kim Possible that way? How dare you? No, that's Kim Possible. That ain't Power Rangers. Hell no. I never cared for Power Rangers. Um, I was a Kim Possible girl, which is funny because you'll see soon. There's gonna be a video up on my channel. It's probably gonna be the next one. It'll probably be today, actually, of the auction video. There was a Ford LTD. It was about a 75, I think, with a 400 in it. And the hood emblem, somebody put Rufus there from Kim Possible, which is just too funny. I've ever seen Zoids? I don't think so. Maybe? I don't know. I don't know for sure. No, I don't think I've seen that actually. Hey, I'm just driving my car. Although if I was doing this going down the road, I'd be like swerving all over the place. God, it's fun. Fun. And also, because like I have two videos actually currently awaiting to be up on YouTube because I have them uploaded. I just haven't done it yet. Fair enough. Because yeah, like so there is the auction video, which actually you'll like some of the vehicles that are in that auction. I have a sneaking suspicion. Because like for example, there was a 68 Ford Cortina GT, which is really cool in that auction. There was a 1971, I believe, Impala. Very clean car, like just mint car. There was a Sunbeam Minx. There was a couple of Land Cruiser diesels, both very rough, but cool. There was a Dodge Raider, which is pretty cool, with a stick in it. Honestly, I wanted that thing so bad. There was a Kawasaki GPZ 550, 1986 for that one. There was no 69 Marauders. You know, and the Marauders I do see from that vintage are never 69. It's usually a 70 that I see. So, yeah. Ugh, but because that's always a hard one to find. Like, and there's so many others, like, because people have me look for stuff for them, right? And I have no problems doing that. Have fun. But man, oh, where did those scratches come from? I don't know, maybe I got cut in the junkyard or something. But yeah, because like that there was just so much stuff, and again, I think I only went through not even half of everything in that junkyard. There was still so much more. Like, I am going to go back there, and I'm going to film the rest of it. All the Dodges, all the Chevrolets, all the GMs, all the imports. Oh, that thing, yeah. I think I know which one you're talking about in there. Because that was a Meteor. Yeah, just a Meteor, which is actually a Canadian car. So, because you guys didn't get the Meteors down there. There was a Meteor Renault, to be precise. Same thing, but it's not. It doesn't have the panache of the Marauder, right? But same car. yeah. Oh, it's already 5 o'clock. Holy crap! I didn't realize it was that late. Sorry, I was just sending a text message. For my mom's Mustang. What? That's. Why would she? I'm confused. Why would she be like that? Like, does it have? Do you guys not have a close relationship or anything like that, or does she not believe in your building skills? Because it's not like building out an engine isn't like super hard. You just need to know tolerances of stuff and whatever else, right? Like, and which I will fully admit I've never built out an engine ever, but there's enough information out there to where I could do it properly. And I know enough people too that would guide me too, right? So it's something I want to do eventually, but it's just money isn't there for that. See, now, why would she owe you anything? Like that, I don't understand that one bit when people say that, oh, I owe you, whatever. It's just like, no. If somebody gives you a gift, it doesn't mean that you need to return one to them. No. Because there is a thing to be said, though, about, like, if something is a gift and then you get something for them in the future, maybe because of that gift, sure. But it's not always a, hey, you need to do that at all. Like that, I don't understand that sort of social construct of people that way. That's just very, very disappointing that way. But and I can see how that would be upsetting too. I'm sorry to hear that. It's always rough, because I I wasn't abused as a kid. I was abused as an adult, but it wasn't physical abuse, it was mental abuse. So and that was from my mother, and there's a reason why I don't talk to her anymore. But like I said, she started that when I was an adult, not when I was a child. So which made things a little easier, I guess, but still not something that I like about that though. Um but yeah. Ugh. Die bug. There we go. Dead bug on my finger. But actually something, and I think you would like this. So I had an idea on building out a center console for my for Stitch, my 81, when it has the manual in it, because I'm not gonna build out a center console until the stick is in it. Yeah, good, because and I am not gonna do that because I know how it feels, right? Like, why would I do that? And I never use anybody or anything like that. I've always been that sort of person. Like, if you need to talk, I'm here. If you need anything, and even just random strangers. I used to actually. There's an app called Whisper that I used to use all the time. It's not an anonymous thing, right? And the thing is, there were people on there that needed help, and I would reach out. And I actually became known as a resource for people. Unfortunately, I stopped using Whisper a few years ago, but I saved quite a few people from at least doing anything to themselves. So yeah, and I got some people out of abusive situations too. because I kind of taught people how to stand up for themselves, because there were so many people, and to this day there's still so many people that don't know how to stand up for themselves, and it's very, very sad that way. Like, and I just kind of gave people kind of the resources just to do that, and not be in a way of like, you know, I'm superior to you or anything like that, but, you know, just give them the confidence so that they didn't have to worry, right? Yeah, I mean, and I was always softer when it came to that. I never forced people into anything. The only time I did force anything was with my bestie, because there was just a lot of stuff that she needed at the time, and I just really had to push. And then, yeah, because I saved her life too. And like, I had to push her a little bit. And then when it came to my depression, she pushed me in a way that worked. You know, and we pushed each other in a way that worked, because there's a certain push that isn't helpful, right? To some people anyways. To others, just like, yeah, that sort of, you know, tough love thing, whatever else works, but it doesn't work on me. Yeah, see, that makes sense. You know, like, yeah, and it should never be forced properly. Like, and when I said like forced, it's, you know, I've only ever forced or tried to force anything if it's endangering their life, right? My damn shoulder. And yeah, and there was quite a few, and then, you know, and I always wondered, because I used to, back when PlayStation Home was a thing, on the PS3, I used to actually be on that a lot, and I helped people out, whatever else on there too. But the one thing that I actually came across once, there was a guy that grew strong feelings for him, and then when I told him that I was gay, and that I would not accept his advances, that, at least, now this could have been an act entirely, because bear in mind, we never saw each other on video or anything like that, but I got a message like a month afterwards saying that he attempted to kill himself, and that because of what I did, and that I should apologize. I'm going, I'm not going to apologize for that, because that's not something I need to apologize for, right? You know, I never want to hurt anybody, but that's one of those things that you kind of just need to learn. If somebody doesn't want you, doesn't mean that you should kill yourself or attempt to. Or as they say on the TikTok, unalive yourself, because, you know, the freaking algorithm on there is so stupid. Because they'll just flag you if you try and say kill yourself. But on YouTube, it doesn't matter. Okay, yeah, it's just 2 screws now. Okay, gotcha. Right? And I've come across that more than once. That was just the first time, and I was 16 when that happened. So it's like, it did screw me up for a while, but I always wondered, like, was that real or was that fake? It was through messages, because like, it supposedly this was the brother that came out and started talking to me on PlayStation messages and whatever else like that. And I'm like, okay, like, because I never want to be the one to have to, you know, cause anybody pain ever. But then also, like, something I come across out here too, because there is one there's a couple of dickheads. The one, at least when I run into him, he just kind of ignores me, whatever else. Like, I don't even try to talk to him either, but we just kind of have a mutual understanding of like, hey, we don't want to be near each other, period. And, you know, we just leave it at that. Because I've run into him a couple times at car shows and stuff like that. But there's another guy, though, that he keeps doing shit, and it's driving me nuts. Because he was always really rude to me. Whenever we were at car meets and stuff like that, he always told me, oh, that I'm so poor that I should just go pick bottles out of the ditch. And I'm like, that is so degrading. Like, why the hell would I do that? Like, no, I am not that desperate for money. And I hope to God I'm never that desperate for money to pick bottles out of a ditch. Right? And he would always tell me I should go do that. And it's like, dude, that's just so freaking degrading. Every single time he ran into me, he would say that. And then yeah, see, and I appreciate that. When people are like that, it's so much better, right? Because I know that there are people that are gonna like me and they're gonna want to hit on me whenever, and then I say it outright that, hey, sorry guys, you know, and a lot of them are okay with it, but there's some that are not. You know, there's always those comments of, hey, you know, I'll you haven't had the right guy or anything like that. It just, oh god, I hate those comments so much, really, really do. But yeah, you know, and I've seen them so much. But anyways, with this other guy, so because I ran in, like, if you saw my post on Facebook about a couple weeks back, me and a friend of mine were having a discussion about Mustangs, right? And, you know, just having a good time. I was trying to tell him that, like, hey, Fox bodies are the best, right? And he likes his new edges, whatever else, which is just an evolved Fox body, really. And, like, I like new edges, too. And I prefer Fox bodies. But out of the modern Mustangs, I think new edges are the best looking, in my opinion. But all of a sudden, we're just having a good conversation, joking around, whatever else. And then in the comments, freaking pops up this guy named Chris. Well, he doesn't actually live in town. He's outside of town. But from around here anyways. And, you know, all of a sudden he just goes, nobody wants to see your piece of shit car, and he says you're the reason why nobody comes to the car meets. I'm like, okay, this should be entertaining. And, like, I just called him out for being a dick, because he's always been a dick to me, right? And, you know, then he attacks my knowledge and just, like, you know, you're saying that I'm full of shit, and, you know, that I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. And he's referring to one video that I did. If you look up my how to change your wheels video, I used my torque wrench as a breaker bar, but to be fair, that torque wrench is a $15 torque wrench. I couldn't give a flying fuck about it. Right? And so, whatever. Kind of moved on from that. He never apologized for being a dickhead with that. Whatever, right? So, just a couple days ago, I go to the gas station, filling up gas, right? And then I look, as I pull up, I look beside and realize, oh crap, it's him. So I was like, whatever. I just get out of my car. I don't even acknowledge him. I just kind of looked at him and went, oh, great. And I walked to the store because, like, I was paying with cash for my gas. So, as I'm walking away, though, he actually says, hey, you're not supposed to be within 500 feet of me. And I'm just ignoring him because he's just, again, being a dick. And then as I'm halfway across the parking lot, he yells out, it was just a joke. And then I yelled back at him, like, dude, you're such a dick. Like, leave me alone. And then he starts yelling a bunch of other crap at me, which I stopped paying attention. I just kind of laid into him a little bit and then just went inside, you know? And I paid for my stuff, and I'm paying for my stuff, and he's still yelling in the parking lot. He's in his truck, driving across the parking lot, yelling at me. And I'm like, dude, you're just such a freaking child. Like, leave me the hell alone. It's sad. This is a fully grown man. He's older than I am, and he's acting like this. It's like I don't get it. And now because the rest of his family is actually okay. I get along with him to a certain degree, or at least we have a mutual understanding where just, like, we can chat and it's fine. Me and him, no, he's just a dick. And I can't have a conversation with him, ever. That's why I don't try to. You know? And yeah, it's just it's shit like that that really irks me. But it's like, I don't let it get to me. However, that day because of that, I had a bit of an episode with my health because of my heart and head issues. Right? My heart rate went up, as did my blood pressure, and I had to try and calm myself down a little bit because it really did bother me. And that's the thing, because this is a guy that you can't just ignore. Unfortunately, like, because there's so many people that will just try and say, "Oh, just ignore him." You can't. He's one of these guys that doesn't really take that for an answer, and you have to fight back with him. Unfortunately, because I've tried the ignore method, it doesn't work. And so many people say, "Oh, they'll stop afterwards." No, that's not how it works at all. Almost no time in history have you ignored an asshole that it's actually worked out. They'll just keep coming at you, coming at you, coming at you. It just drives me nuts. And it's like, and I do know that, I mean, you've seen it, right? We were having conversation about cars earlier, and some of my knowledge isn't 100%, and I know that. I know a lot about cars, but also sometimes that stuff just kind of mushes together, and it just, yeah. But, that happens to the majority of us, right? Yeah, right? Like, that's one of those things, too. And he's a guy that I do worry he's going to do something. And now, if he does, I know enough people where his life is going to be a living hell if he ever tries anything, right? I can deal with these little, altercations that way, but any more than that, and I have to get the police involved, and then might have to get my lawyer involved, and, right? But yeah, like, that, it wouldn't be hard, because the thing is, I do, and I never, ever want to do this, but if somebody pushed me to that point, I have enough influence across the province that I could make somebody's life a living hell if I really wanted to. I've never done that, but I could do it. Because I've made so many connections with people throughout the years. Like, I network very well. And it's actually done really well for me in the past. That's why, like, I scored this gas tank, for example, because I was networking. And it's a guy that I've actually bought parts off of before. It was last year for the Civic, and then he had this. So, yeah, which actually he pulled it out of the car and, like, he showed it running in the car, which is sweet. So, yeah. But I do need to clean up this tank, though, a little bit, just the outside of it. And, yeah. Because I should just take the pressure washer to it a little bit, but... Exactly, like... And that's the one thing, though, too, is that I'm never rude to people. I've always tried to be respectful. Now, it's not like I haven't, because there was even a guy, when I promoted the crap, like, this was last year or the year before, we were doing our car meets. I think this was the year before. We were doing our car meets actually at Napa here in town, and we just outgrew the location. And then Sherry is the one who found the co-op that we hang out at every week. And it's one of those deals where, honestly, I am like, there was a guy, because the thing I'm talking about, sorry, brain is just, the guy pulls up, and nice enough guy and everything. I was kind of shocked because, he's not that old. He's maybe in his 30s. But he pulls up in a C7 Corvette, right? And he nearly rear ends Nils' car backing up. I'm like, okay. So, that's a thing, but it does happen, whatever else, no big deal. Luckily, we stopped him before he did it. And then he gets out, we chat for a bit. And then he drops a bomb on me and says, yeah, this is actually my first car. I'm going, a C7 Corvette for your first car. Not the wisest choice, but hey, if you have the money, I guess go for it. But I truly think that everybody's first car should be some sort of a beater that you learn how to work on and stuff like that, and you learn to appreciate shit, right? But anyways, I talked with him, nice enough guy and everything. Like I didn't make fun of him or anything, but when he opened his door on his car, he had scissor doors, which I'm not a fan of scissor doors, and I told him that, but it's just like you know what, like on your car it actually kind of does work, but um yeah, and we actually had a very good conversation about it, whatever else. Because that's the one thing. I will never ever, even when I don't like something, I might point out something and go, that's a curious choice. Right? But I'll never say, oh, that's freaking ugly. Right? Never ever do that. Like, unless if I'm just with friends or whatever else like that and just with each other, right? And that's how it should be. Because there are people that love their cars and whatever they do to it, that should be respected. See, depending on situation, I guess I have that issue, but I've learned at this point though to just have people just leave me the hell alone, because and I'll just speak my mind, because I've been in so many situations where it's like, that I don't need their drama in my life. And that happened actually with a person who I thought was a close friend. Turns out, no, she was not in the end. And I'm not going to name who it was or anything, but we were very, very close. And oddly enough, when she finally said, we're not really friends anymore, whatever else, it didn't actually hurt me that much compared to other friendships that I've lost throughout the years. And like when people are just stupid or whatever else, that makes it not hurt near as bad. So, and just, yeah, and like I made little mistakes in the friendship, whatever else like that. But to be fair, I was dealing with a lot of stuff and my brain was not working 100% at the time. Like this is when I wasn't putting out hardly any content on the channel either. And I'm dealing with so many freaking health issues right now that it's insane. I don't know where the end is. And like, I'll be curious this year because, this is my first year having these issues with winter, which apparently weather is supposed to make a difference, and it definitely has. If it's stupid hot outside, it's worse. I haven't felt the cold yet for that, and I'm waiting for it because what I might have, it's not confirmed because I haven't had the proper testing done, but I potentially have what's called POTS, which has to do with basically what I've been dealing with. So high blood pressure or even low blood pressure, which I've had low blood pressure too. And high heart rate when you stand up and everything like that. So it's potentially what I have. It's not confirmed, but it's just sort of a self-diagnosis thing of looking at my symptoms, whatever else, and figuring it out and saying this might be what it is, right? And if it is that, there's really no cure for it. There's nothing really you can do. There's medication for it, but yeah. See, that's always been a curious thing for me, because when, stuff like that is about, and I mean, it is shocking, like, especially that they didn't get all of it out or whatever else like that. Unless that's just like a conscious thing that your body is just like sort of traumatized with the cold that way. Because yeah, like, is there actually still like shrapnel in your knee, or is it just a mental thing? I'm just curious. You don't have to answer that if you don't want to, but actually, that's something I should look at here. Now, is this new insurance on the cars? Or how is this playing out? Oh, okay, fair enough. Okay, so it's still in there. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I didn't realize it was still in there or what, so... Oh, it's going up for October. Okay. Not by much, though, but it is going up a little. So why is it going up? Okay. Ah, okay. There we go. Now it says Magnum on his thing. Well, see, I didn't buy it then, but okay. Okay, third party liability. Okay, so 2 and 3. Okay. Sorry, I'm looking over. I'll catch up with comments here if I miss them, because I've got insurance stuff here. I just want to see how everything is breaking down because it's always so confusing. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Because I always like to look at this stuff and make sure that what coverage do I actually have. And it changes every freaking year and it drives me nuts. Because the one thing is, I want theft and fire on both my cars. I really do. I don't think I have it, though, by the looks of it. I think I have it on this one, but I don't have it on the other one. Because especially when that thing's done, I want that. Wow, I didn't realize this car was so cheap on insurance. Cool. You see, and actually, because okay, so premiums went down a little, only by $16 a year, but still. See, it's interesting. I've got glass coverage on this car. So does my dad, but I don't have it on the other car. So let's say third-party liability. Yep. Direct compensation for property damage. Yep. Okay. Interesting. Okay. I drive that car a lot more than that. It's always fun when they try and say, "Oh, you only drive this much." No, I drive that car a lot more than that. But just like this car, I drive a lot more than that. I think my dad drives a lot more than that too. That's too funny. Because yeah, I mean, I'm under my dad's policy, but because reading this, like it says in Stitch, my '81 Mustang. Wait, what? Wait, what? My first Lincoln Mark 7 was registered with the DOD. They're still paying it to this day. That's confusing. That's very confusing. So, because, yeah, it claims that my car, like my '81, that I only do 7,500 kilometers a year. I drive it way more than that. And this car, they only claim 5,000 kilometers a year. I drive it way more than that. Like, I bought this car when I did buy it. initially. Well, I did a trade for it, and I put on. How much did I put on this car? Mileage wise, I bought it with like 194. It's not got 204 on it. Put it that way, and actual ownership of driving, I think I have just a full year finally. So yeah, that's about 10,000 kilometers I put on the car in a year, give or take. So that's double of what they say I drive, which is funny. But because they don't ask for mileage updates, right? Because this is not a classic car insurance. Okay, there we go. So we do have new pink slips. Okay. So I'll need those two and those two. Okay. Easy enough. Just keep that on top. Oh, okay. So this was a few days ago. Ugh. But yeah, okay. Because it's kind of funny because my 81 Mustang actually costs the most on insurance out of the three cars, because it's three cars on the insurance right now. There's my 81 Mustang, there's my dad's Magnum, and there's this. The only car that's actually stayed on the policy the entire time. Okay, hang on. There we go. Ah, okay, fair enough. Because yeah, like it's interesting though with all of our policies, because my 81 Mustang is the one that stayed on the longest, because throughout that time, let's see, my 81, I got that registered in 2020. So since then, my dad had the Ram. He had the gray Magnum. And then he has his Magnum now. And this car, obviously, I got rid of it, got it back. So yeah, that's why that car is the most expensive on insurance. Even though it should be that my dad should be the most expensive than my two cars. And technically speaking, this should cost more than my 81 to insure. Okay that it doesn't, but it should. Because this car cost me nothing to insure. It's kind of nice. You know, and this is just through a regular sort of policy. This is nothing fancy. And this car has more coverage than the other car, too. But, yeah, because that's the one thing with that car, though. Because I should talk to them about that. Because they say that I only paid $1,500 for that car. When it's all said and done, it's a lot more than that. Like, the value of that car is actually probably more than this car. Even though this is a nicer car. That's the funny part. But that's because that's a notchback, and notchbacks are worth more than convertibles and whatever else. This thing being insured for $8,000 is kind of nice, because if anything happens to it, you know, I got $8,000 in my pocket. I make a, if I crash this car, I make a profit. I'm not going to, but it's so funny when that happens that way. But this thing has full coverage, yeah. So it could catch on fire. It could get stolen. I could crash it into a tree. I can crash into another person. You know, it's all covered. It's kind of nice. My 81's not covered that way though, but that's fine. What's that? Oh. You know, I find it funny that that notification was Domino's to say, "Hey, you know what? I should get pizza from them." I already got pizza today, thanks. I'm not getting more. I'm not gonna drive back out to Olds today. There's no point to. I only drove out to Olds to get cat food. Yeah, like I need to because yeah, like the one thing is when Stitch is done, I need to get an appraisal on that car. Because she's not done yet. Like, because a lot of appraisals aren't going to see the value in that car, not yet. But once I have the once I have the body mods done in that car, once I have the transmission put in that car, once I have, you know, all the different stuff and paint and whatnot, it's gonna increase the value exponentially in that car. So yeah, because now the inline six people aren't really gonna care about, but you know, but stick shift, notch back with no rust on it, that's worth some money. Quite a considerable amount of money. No, I don't need zoomies. Zoomies are cool, but loud as fuck. I don't need super loud exhaust in any of my cars. You know, it's kind of funny because right now, out of all of my cars, the Civic is the loudest. No, I'm not putting zoomies on any of the cars. No. Plus, it wouldn't look right with zoomies on. Well, this one, the zoomies would look fine. But the zoomies on the other car wouldn't look okay. The only reason why is because it's an inline six. Now, unless you like, you know, do 3 out the one side and then dip underneath the car with the other 3 and go out the other side, it would not look right. Oh, you say please. Okay, tell you what. You get me zoomy headers, we'll talk. Okay? We'll talk. I'm not paying for it. If you want it done so bad, you pay for it, then we'll talk. Because I'm not paying for something I don't really want on my car. Yeah, like it'd be kind of funny on this thing to have zoomy headers on it because it's a convertible. It's nice. But yeah, like, and that's the funny part because when people say do this, do this, do this to your car, you pay for it. We'll see. Oh, see now, side pipes are not zoomies. Zoomies are headers that literally they go out and they go out. That's a zoomy header. Or zoomies that go through your hood, for example, right? Like those are zoomies. What you're talking about is side pipes. That's entirely different. Okay, what? Yeah, I'm not betting on NFL because I don't know NFL. Like, because on Stitch, even though Stitch has a really nice exhaust on it right now, I don't really want to change that. This car's exhaust I want to change a little bit, but I don't know. Side pipes wouldn't look right on this car either. I will fully admit that. But you know, it's funny that you said, yeah, it only cost you $500. Yeah, I don't have money right now. I'm flat ass broke. I have nothing. Zero. There you go. Double zeros. Well, yeah, I mean, like a zoomy header though typically does go out. It it attaches to the motor and then goes either out through the hood or it goes down and out, but usually doesn't have mufflers on it and it's just got awful loud. That's like a zoomy style to me anyway. Is that's what I've always seen as a zoomy. Because otherwise, like, what you're talking about is just like side pipes. That's a different style altogether. That's just regular headers, whether it's a short or long tube header that feeds into side pipes. That's different, right? Because at least that's what I recognize the definition of as, anyways. I mean, like, to be honest, I'd love to have proper headers on this car, not the factory headers that this thing has, because they are quite restrictive. But, and I'd like to redo the entire exhaust on this car, although it's got a nice exhaust tone, but I do want to put different exhaust on it. Like, faux show. Did you really just say you're right when you're talking with a female? Do you really have the audacity to say that? Of course, I'm just playing around, but... It's kind of funny that this live has just evolved into me and you just chatting with each other, which I'm okay with that. It's fun. Yeah, because oddly enough, like usually when we sort of chat, our chats don't go anywhere. But when we're doing this, it's a little different. Get a lot more. I don't know. It's just it seems we just tend to get more chat about, right? I have never ever heard it called that. That's funny. Oh God, I will. I'm laughing at that, but full disclosure, don't say that to somebody to a woman that's gay, because they might get very, very offended by that. Unless they're a masculine a mask lesbian. Then that's a little different. But because some of the mask lesbians do look like men, straight up. That's the thing. It's a good boy. Because I hate to hear, yeah, by the way, I got my ass beat by a bunch of women because I said that, hey, you know what? You know, that the gay ones are just guys with long hair or cool hair. That's just too funny. So, if I was younger, I might get offended by that, but as I've gotten older, stuff like that just makes me laugh. Especially with people that I actually know, right? Like, because me and you kind of know each other at this point, so it's not so bad. Because if you were some random guy, yeah, that'd be awkward for sure. But ugh. Oh, exactly. Like, it's on the verge of being very, very offensive. Like, if you, like I said, if I didn't know you, yeah, that is 100%. I would probably be offended, but there we go. I was trying to fall off. Don't want that to fall off. But yeah. You know. Exactly. Now, okay. Here's a question, because I'm probably going to put this out on YouTube as well as like a YouTube short and ask people what I should do. Should I? So let me just do this. Should I change out, because I already have the black carpet anyways, it just needs to be cleaned up. Should I change out this red carpet for the black? And then I'll change out this little centerpiece for a black too, this whole thing here. Not the center console itself. Leave that red, but do this in black. Because I have these in black. And then I have the black carpet too. It's such a pain in the ass to change out the carpet on this, but because it's a full interior. Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking too. And then I do have a bunch of black trim, but I don't know if that would be too much. Because like the windshield frame, actually here, let me just do this. I also have all of this that I could do black too. Now, should I do that? Or should I just do black sun visors? Or should I just leave it as is? Yeah, it's true. Oh yeah, like, don't get me wrong. I know it'll look good. I just don't like the idea of swapping all this crap out, because it's a lot of work to change out the carpet in this car, because all of the interior is still here, and the other car is not so bad. And this car is a lot because it's all still here. So, because I do have to take the seats out and take all of the with red visors. Okay. Now, should I? Because obviously, yeah, this is already black, so that's fine. You know. Should I? Because I do have all of the trim around the sun visors here, like that entire thing. I could do that black too, because I have all that. Should I do that, or should I leave it red? Because I'm debating. Because it'll look good either way. I'm just trying to figure out if that's too much black in here. Because then I thought about as well dash pad doing that black too. I think dash pad black would work in here. And then black carpet and black plastics? Okay. That's what I was thinking, yeah. And then have the red sun visors to offset it. Plus, these sun visors have, you know, the mirrors on them too. The black sun visors I don't have them. So, yeah, okay. Because that's what I was thinking, yeah. Yeah, so black trim, black carpet, black thingy here, black dash pad. Yeah, I like that. Actually, I like that a lot. It'll look really good. And it'll just set it off ever so nicely, because there's actually a lot of black in here, to be honest. But like a lot of this black goes like black and then red here, right? It actually makes sense to do this black. Yeah. Yeah, no. We're all on the same wavelength. Yep. Yippity-doo-dah, yippity-day. Oh, yeah. Cool. So yeah, basically, because like the one thing is, sometimes I just need a second opinion on stuff, because a lot of the times I'll just do it and not care. So yeah, so that black carpet's gonna go in this, and because it's a convertible carpet anyways, it might have extra bumps in it for bracing and for a convertible, so it won't be a big deal putting it in here. Because this is gonna have that. True, it would be. Yeah, see, I really need to clean that gas tank, because holy crap, how much dirt is on that. It's actually dirtier than what my gas tank was when I pulled it out. But yeah, okay, cool. So that definitely, that's what I was thinking, too. And you essentially solidified what I want to do, so cool. So you'll see that as a video at some point. I just gotta remember how to take out a center console. I'm not looking forward to that. Because it's a lot to take out a center console. There's a lot to do. There's so many freaking screws and whatnot that you have to remove. But something though that I think you'll like, because you're a custom guy and whatever else too. Because like this car, I don't want super custom on this car. Like under the hood, a little different, but the rest of the car, not so much. Just keep it more sort of original looking, more or less, you know. Especially with the wheels I have now too. It looks really good. But, because that's the one thing that I was thinking about is, well, I already know I'm going to do it. So basically, I'm going to build my own center console for the other car. Even though I've got a black center console that actually it wouldn't work in the interior because of all of the gray and red on that interior, so that wouldn't work. But I was thinking of doing similar style to the stock center console in these Fox bodies, but with a twist. It's all going to be made out of metal, and I'm going to retain the stock ashtray in the car because it's a center console delete car, right? So it's got the ashtray up front there. And it just kind of drops down, and there's your cigarette lighter there too. That's what I want to do, and there won't be any computer in it like these have, because it's just a simple computer. It's a clock, and then it tells you, you know, what's working in your car. You know, like, do you have low fuel? Are your brake lights or your tail lights out? Is your headlights working, right? Because it is kind of cool that you have that in these. Although the low fuel light comes on, it's funny. You'll have like 15 liters of fuel left, and that low fuel light comes on. Because, yeah, and there's this little button over here that you can press, and actually it shows that, hey, it's all working. So, it's kind of cool, actually, that it does that. But, yeah, and then do that. And the thing is, I want to stain it to match, because that one has the fake wood on the dash. I want to match it to that, but then also, the dash surround itself, I actually want to make out of wood, which would be really, really cool. So, oh, is this actually... Nah, it's not loose enough. Oh, wait. Hang on. Because I can show you what I mean. When I say, hey, I want to do the dash surround in wood. I should say the gauge surround, not the dash surround. So, this... I'll just take it out really quick because I got a screwdriver right here. Now this one I'm doing no matter what, because it's such a cool thing. I don't know about black stained wood. Because actually to pull that off is, you can do it, but you have to essentially burn the wood and then stain it. Which, it's so hard to get the consistency. It would be an interesting thing for sure, but... There we go, so this here... Because basically, I kind of want... Oh, whoops. There's one more screw in there. There we go. I was like, why is it not coming up? Even though I could run inside and go grab one that I already have, but... So... And I just show you on Stitch if Stitch was right in front of me, but obviously she's not. She's in Edmonton. So... Because this is what I was talking about, right? So, this one and mine is just fake wood, right? But I actually want to make out of just a little bit. I just pulled this out. It's not a big deal. This is only 3 screws and it comes right out. It's pretty simple. But, so like this on the other car has the fake sort of wood that's like MacTac, right? But I actually want to make it out of real wood and put all the tabs in it and everything like that. And, basically, just take one of these and take all the little clips and whatever else like that I need off of it. And, yeah, do it that way. Because, honestly, it'd be really, really cool. And then match the staining to... Because I have that not only on the... No qualifications for that? What, no qualifications for me pulling apart the car or doing woodworking? Because I'm actually very good at woodworking, oddly enough. I just haven't done it in a few years, but it's not that hard to do, honestly. I just gotta make sure to get everything right. Except for I don't have the AC in the car, so this wouldn't be here. Even though they still have the hole in the dash for the AC in that car, but I don't have AC on that car. And I'm probably not going to put AC in the car, even though I found some candidates down at Flatlaw for AC in that car, because there was a couple of inline six AC cars. Why? Why is my cool car girl thing revoked? I'm confused. I'm so confuzzled. You're being mean to me. Fine, I'll put it back together. I was just showing you what I was going to make out of wood. Because as long as I have one of those as a template, which I do, I can build it out and it'll actually look really cool. Because that's funny. But that's the one thing with that car though, because that car is gonna get all the custom stuff that's just gonna be like one off, and you won't see another one like it. Because I have never seen another Fox body with that dash surround being wood. I've seen it because I've seen that dash surround in metal. Never seen it in wood though. So, and that's something that I think would look really cool. And then I could stain it to match because there's the fake Mac tack on the dash, which I'm not gonna make that piece out of wood because it's a pain in the ass to get that out. There's so much work involved to get it out, and I'm not a fan. So, well, hey, if you want to judge me right now, so this is as you can tell, Phillips, right? I'm using a flathead. Come on, get in there. Get in your hole. There we kind of. And that's not really in there. There we go. Now it is. There we go. Because yeah, it would just be honestly just a very cool sort of custom feature that way. And then with the wooden center console, which is going to look similar to what these plastic ones do, but it's going to be made out of pure wood. There you go. Yeah. But yeah, so, and something I want to do as well, because that one's going to get the stick. Like, that's going T5 manual. This is staying automatic. I don't think I'll ever do this one as a manual. But I am going to... I do want to swap the tranny out for an AOD, though, because it's currently a C5, and, you know, I want the overdrive. So, other than that, this one's staying mostly as is, and then some engine upgrades, too. But that car, though, is going to get all the custom body mods, and so they got the custom taillights in it. Well, at least sequential LEDs, right? They're pretty cool. And then, yeah, with just all the wood accents inside and whatever else, it'll look really cool. Because I'm not going to do everything in wood, just that dash surround I think would be cool in wood. The center console would be cool in wood. And then, yeah. Basically, just those two things. And then something, because that one, like I mentioned, is going to a stick, I want to do a gated shifter for it, too. Made out of wood. Which, basically, I can do with a Dremel, oddly enough. Wouldn't be that hard. It's just making sure I get all of it perfect. Because it's going to be such a masterpiece when it's all said and done. And it'll look really cool. But I have to have the manual transmission in the car before I can build the center console, because I could, I suppose, build a separate inlay for the automatic versus the manual. But, and yeah, because like I'm a big fan of woodworking, and I haven't done it in so long. It's just super, super fun. And I was always really good at it. But I haven't actually done any woodworking aside from sanding wood since I graduated high school, which was 2015. So, and I think actually it was 24. No, sorry, not 2015. What am I talking about? It was 2015 actually. AODs were the same length as a C5. I could be wrong, but I thought they were. But I mean, regardless, I can always get a used tranny too out of anything. Because oddly enough, like when I was down in Flatlaw, there was a lot of candidates for AODs down there too. Okay. See, I didn't realize that they were longer. Because I know like a T5 and a C4 are the same length. You don't have to do a custom drive shaft for that, which is cool. But, or a different drive shaft, I should say. So that's why I won't have an issue with doing it in my car. Well, I will have an issue because of the bell housing I have too. Because the bell housing is backwards of how you'd normally do it in a Fox body. So, yeah, it's gonna be tough, but we'll figure it out because we'll just have to do some custom fabrication to make it work, I think. And I might have to call in my buddy Roy Marco from Roy Marco's Garage to help out because he's got a very custom mind that he can put to work and, you know, see, because I have an idea for it. Like we'd have to do some custom linkages and whatnot, but I think we can pull it off. Because it's for the clutch engagement, right? That's gonna be the trouble because that is a 66 one, and instead of it using a clutch cable in 66, they didn't. Oh, really? Okay, good to know. Good to know. So yeah, maybe another trip to Flatla is in order and grab one of those. Because yeah, I really do want to put an AOD in this car. So it just make it so much nicer. Or I could find a parts car like Cougar or a Lincoln Mark 7. There's actually, it's interesting. There's a Lincoln Mark 7 that's been for sale for months and months and months and months and months and months and months. It is a Lincoln Mark 7 that has the BMW diesel in it, but it needs the head rebuilt and it's currently off the car and it's up on blocks with no wheels on it. But the guy still wants like $800 for it. I'm going, dude, you have like a $300 car right now. But I thought about seeing if I could offer the guy like really cheap on that just for some parts because they would have the AOD I need. So, because I think, yeah, Lincoln Mark 7s, they only came with AODs, correct? They did not come with anything else? I think it's $800 for it, which is too much. You look at the car, it's quite rusty. Again, it's the diesel with a head needing rebuilt. But mind you, actually, that transmission's probably not an AOD. Like, did they put... Because behind the diesel, wasn't an AOD? I want to say no, it wasn't. It was probably some BMW tranny. I could be wrong, but I'd almost think so, because, like, trying to, okay. That's what it is. So, you know. Because, yeah, that's the one thing. I had a thinking suspicion that they were not. So, okay, cool. So, yeah. And because there were so many Cougars and stuff like that down at Flatlaw. There was a few of them. And a few T-Birds, too. Like, there was a lot of T-Birds in that video I'm sure you saw. And a lot of them had the 2.3 turbo, which is weird. Fair enough. Makes sense. I wonder if Buddy knows that his hood is popped as he's driving away. Yeah, buddy, your hood is popped right open. Well, hopefully he's not going very far. I would have stopped him, but I don't know him that well. Oh. But I should actually see. Okay, that's his truck going on the road, so I don't think he noticed that his head was popped. Oops. Hopefully that doesn't come up and smack it, but driving down the road, you're probably not going to have that as much. It's not like he's going down the highway or anything like that, so. Because where he was going that way. So, highway's that way. Well, there is highway that way, too. But, um, yeah, so, I'm trying to think. Is there anything else I want to talk about? I don't think so. Um, yeah, sorry, brain is just, not working. 2.5 hours? Wow. Oh, okay. Yeah, because I would. Well, hey. Well, no. Must. Well, actually, I don't know. Mustang AOD being a two-piece drive shaft? Because I know both of these Mustang, like this Mustang and my other one, are one piece too. Although, if I got an AOD and then got the drive shaft out of a Lincoln, wouldn't I have to shorten the drive shaft anyways because the car's longer? Or is the wheelbase the same? It's just the past the fenders and the past the wheels. That's where the length difference is because they are like an extra 3 feet or something like that. They're a big car. At least for the Lincolns. The Cougar is still a little bigger than the Mustang as well, but of course, and as is the T-Bird. Oh, okay. Well, to be honest, I mean, I could just get a Mustang one then, because I don't really want extra U joints. Not gonna lie. You know, um, or is it less U joint? I don't know. I'm so confused. I need to look this up and figure it out that way too. Cause yeah, like I mean, I could. Cause like down in Tilly there, they have quite a few things. They actually have a lift in their shop too, so they might be able to actually pull stuff to their shop and lift it up and do it that way. Ah, yeah. Cause sorry, I'm just not quite getting what you're putting down there. That's all. I'm a little confuzzled. Very confuzzled. But sometimes that's very easy for me to get confuzzled. Ah, okay. That makes sense now. Okay, I got you. Because yeah, I was confused now. Because yeah, I can easily find a Mustang AOD shaft. Because oddly enough, there was probably a couple of Mustang AODs in the junkyard there. Because there was an 86 5-liter red car that was an automatic. That probably had an AOD in it. So, because the motor was still there, so my guess is the tranny's still there too. I don't know. I'd have to ask, or I can just find one. And oddly enough, actually, Keith probably has one. Come to think of it, he's got quite a few Fox bodies. One of them should have an AOD, and because he's got parts cars too, so he's got to have one. Actually, ooh, that gray one, that should have an AOD in it. I think. I'd have to ask him. Because, yeah, like, and I'd prefer mechanical AOD over electronic AOD. Which, because, and I don't know when they actually did the transition from, was that when they created the SN95 when they went to the electronic AOD? And then once they went to the 4.6, I believe, like, well, they didn't actually get rid of the, no, actually they did. They got rid of the AOD for the 4R70W. If I remember correctly. Because, yeah, I actually, I was thinking about grabbing, because there was and I should have pulled the engine and tranny out of that car. I really should have. But I never did. Because, reasons. Because a buddy of mine had which I believe that was an AOD-E in that car. Because I bought, if you remember, if you go back far enough in my channel. Yeah, that's how it went. That's right. Yeah, because he had an AOD-E in his V6. V6 New Edge that I bought off of him. I thought I was going to take the tranny. I thought I may have done something with the motor too, but I never did. Because, yeah, like, I could have pulled that thing apart, but it's just, trying to do everything outside is annoying, so I didn't do it. If I had towed it up to my buddy's shop in Edmonton, we could have pulled everything off that car. Ah, okay. Fair enough. But holy crap, I've been going for over 2 hours and 40 minutes now. Jeez. But actually, I should. 470W is the new mod. Yeah, see, I did know that. That one I did know. But, I just didn't know when, like, I didn't realize that, sorry, brain function proper. I didn't realize that the 4.6 was the only one with the 470W. I thought maybe the 3.8 would have had it too, but I guess not. So, cool. Okay. Good to know in the future. Not that I want electronic overdrive, though. Give me that mechanical. Everything mechanical. Just makes it so much easier. Even though some people will say mechanical is more complicated. They're just wrong. They're wrong with everything in their body. But, actually, I should probably head inside, and I think I'm going to, end the live here. I'm getting very tired out here. To be honest, the car's a little fumy right now, too, so that's not helping things. Because I got that convertible top motor in here. I've got gasoline in the gas tank here. And, yeah. It's kind of fucking with my head a little bit. So, and I got stuff to bring inside too. So it's kind of awkward to try and carry the phone and then do all that and leave you alone. So, but we can continue this conversation on the Facebooks. So, but yeah, anyways, for the people who actually watch this until the end, you guys are troopers, because this is almost 3 hours long. This is not my longest live ever. but it's about second or third longest live ever. So, which I do want to say thank you to everybody who watches this video, and to my buddy down there who has been chatting with me the entire time. That's been wonderful. Yeah, anyways, before I kind of pass out in the car here, hey, I'm talking to the people in the future, okay? I'm allowed to do that because there's other people that'll watch this in the future, okay? Okay? Anyways, I'll, as he's giving me shit in the comments. Well, bugger, he'd ban you. But anyways, I'm gonna sign off here. So, yeah. Hope everybody in the future is having a fantastic time. As for, VCMD propulsion, he can just, shove it. No, I'm kidding. But anyways, yeah, we can continue this conversation on Facebook. So, I will chat at y'all later. Bye!